Woohoo!
This is being live streamed right as we speak. There you go.
Oh boy.
That's for me. It's a first.
Yeah, welcome Lília to our gay parade that we have here. It's good fun.
Yes.
That we do this. I like it, and this is also the last one for this season. We're the season finale. So Lília
sounds legit when you say it like that, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That's good. We'll see what surprises we have in store for next season. But for now, we've got a bundle of stuff, and the title of this episode is Summer Reading.
Yay!
And we've got loads of stuff. So let's start immediately. Let's throw the ball over to Lília. What you got for us?
Okay. Well, what I got is Book Lovers, which is actually my a staff choice of mine, not only for the ABC picks, but it's a staff choice for me, and I really loved it. I managed to watch it, to read it as an arc, and I loved it so much, and it was really like, I don't know, it was because it's very hilarious in the beginning, and then it really becomes sort of, you get into the way the people deal with each other, and Emily Harry managed to give voice to people, even if it's the only voice you hear is of the main character. It's really, I thought it was really cool.
I'm going to share my screen and show the good folks at home. This is this is where you find it on our website, abc.nl. And we've got our ABC Staff Picks 2022, which you'll find down here on the highlights collection down there. And this is the book we're talking about. This one that Lília you're talking about, Book Lovers. It's pretty new, isn't it?
Yes, it was released in May.
Yeah. So
whoa, it's still May.
It's still May.
Oh, sorry, beginning of May.
But it's her third book. Is that right?
It's the third really known book. I think she has other stuff that I don't really know about. But the other two, Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, that is also in British edition is You and Me on Vacation, is really, both of them are bestsellers as well.
Show the folks what we do actually as well. We use fantastic fiction a lot. And if we're going to throw her name in at the top, and then we can get like there she is.
Oh whoa, that's a lot more books than I was thinking.
There you go. Yeah, from 2017. So People We Meet on Vacation, indeed. And You or Me on Vacation, what you said, Lília.
It's so the same one. Book. It's the same one, actually.
Yeah. One's an American, one's in a UK edition, and because we're the American Book Centre, we can get both. So whatever people want. But it's basically the same story inside. But just a different title. So that was the last book that she brought out, actually, 2021, and Book Lovers is the new one. So that is just out, and it's ripe and ready to be read for some summer reading. Yeah. Okay then. Good one. Okay. And actually, that was also a tip from Natalia. So it's definitely higher, sort of rising on the list of books to read. Iris, what have you got for us?
Yes. Well, I've got two books. Which one do I want to talk about first? I'm going to talk about this one first. It's called Squire. It's a graphic novel. Let me give you a sneak peek. Wow. very, very non-specific. So, okay. One of my best friends is a visual artist. And she was like, I know, or like via social media, I know the person who illustrated this graphic novel. And it's my birthday coming up, so I think this would be a great gift. And I was like, say no more. So I got it as a gift for her, and she read it. She doesn't really read books. She just doesn't. She's one of those people who doesn't have the time to read books. But she read this one, and she loved it. And she's like, do you want to borrow it? The book that you bought me, do you want to borrow it? And I was like, yes, please. I haven't read it yet, so there's not a lot I can say about it content-wise. But I mean, I feel like graphic novels are perfect summer reading, right? Because it's relatively quick. It's interesting to look at. You don't have to like invest all your focus into a story. You can just take it to the park or to the beach or whatever. So I'm very excited to hopefully read this one outside at some point soon.
With the sun behind you.
Yeah.
I'm just looking down here. It says born a second-class citizen. Asia Isa is the name.
Yeah,
Always
that's what
becoming a knight. It's the highest military honor in the once great Batil Sahi Empire. Good lord!
You don't have to read the whole blurb, Luke. It's fine.
No.
People can look it up themselves.
All right. Well, it's good. Good fun to read it aloud. Just to think of that at all. But
I
anyway,
kind of got slight like Poppy War vibes from the description, because it's also about this sort of military academy thing. Although I'm presuming that it's probably less like violent and bloody than the Poppy War, but I don't know. I don't know. I might be wrong.
You'll be sitting in the park going, "Oh my god!"
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do love graphic novels, the way that they can be. Well, actually, literally, sometimes no words at all, and you really, when they're beautifully written, and I've been moved to tears by some of them, where they just you know, they English, I don't know, twang a string,
Sure.
and it just works. So whatever you know touches you.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm not great with graphic novels because I tend to be too focused on the words, because I'm just so used to reading, like reading pieces of text, that I keep forgetting to like take a moment and look at the images and see the story that the visuals are telling me. But I'm trying to get better at that, because I do really appreciate beautiful graphic novels. So I feel like if I don't like invest in that, I'm cheating myself out of that experience.
True. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that, because I'm less I'm not so just, as you say, invested just in the work. I like to see the pictures, the drawings, the way it's done. I don't know.
I mean, I like it. I just noticed that I tend to skip over them, not on purpose. It just happens.
I kind of know what you mean. Yeah.
No, I completely understand, because I do about the same.
Yeah.
I concentrate so much on the words, and then I have to go back for, wait a minute, let me take a look.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some of them actually so many words that you kind of do that. So I've had that feeling as well, but I think also because you guys are more like readers than I am, it's sort of a built-in thing, maybe. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna pick something from my huge let me just show you. These are all the masses that
spoilers don't
different colleagues of mine gave me. I'm going to show a game, because there's a couple of different games that Max gave us. This one's called Wordy, a sneaky two-player tile game. Yeah, try saying that when you're drunk. So this is one of the few ones that actually is meant for just two people on holiday, in place of what we were just talking about before, where it's like two, but it's actually a four-player game or more. And this is you can take it with you. It's very nice. A sort of cross between Scrabble and charades, I would say. Where you have tiles, and the two of you make up a word, and you write it down, and then the other person has to guess what word you've made, and they use the cards there to try and do that. And it only takes about 15 minutes per round, so
that's quite nice.
Yeah, quick and easy. I have in my mind, after you've gone out, had supper, you come back and you want to have a little game or something like that. So that's kind of handy. And then this other one I'm going to throw in, because it was a great title, Stoner Parking Lot, a game of bluffing and puffing. Man,
nice. Nice.
So just hard game, just to do some stuff with. It just seemed like good fun. So there you go, two small games that you could take with you on holiday and have fun with. Go on then, Lília, what else have you got for us?
Well, I have the newest Christina Lauren, Something Wilder.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. I can't say very much about it, but she is also the bestseller author on Honeymooners and Love and Other Words, Soulmate Equation, and seems like, by the description, it seems a bit like a crossover between Second Chances in Love and Indiana Jones in Utah.
Okay.
That's
no
an
idea.
interesting combination.
Yeah, but seems interesting. So I don't know, but it's one of those authors that is really becoming to be known because of book talk.
Yeah.
It has written a lot of other things, and then suddenly makes a lot of. It's in a big success because of those other titles. So I wonder if it's going to be good or not, but it seems to be. So we'll see.
You have these ones where they sort of float along. They're good. She's a good enough writer that she holds your attention, although may or may not be that the story is the strongest story in the world. But we're talking about summer reads, and you want to have a light.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
It's a romance book, no?
It's also a romance, such as the Book Lovers is also a romance.
Yeah.
So, but I do romance I ordered the romance novels in the Hague.
Yeah.
So it's my first thought is always going for, romance.
I mean, I think romance books are like one of the stereotypical summer reading genres. So that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I also the other month sort of gave a good old thumbs up for Natalia, but also for you, Lília, I think, because in the last 10 years, the last 5 years specifically, I think I've seen that whole section change. 10 years ago, as I said, it was like hunky dudes with kilts, and women fainting over them, and now it's hunky dudes with kilts and men fainting over them and things like that. It's a lot of different things as well.
It's men meeting and
different stories.
And gay couples and all other. It's a very diversified genre, but it's not even in the last 10 years. I think is in the last 2 or 3.
Oh, so short.
It's really short, because when I took over romance back maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, it was really still those pockets and really those really well-known names. Only Danielle Steele and even Julia Quinn then, but then it's Julia Quinn again, but because of Bridgerton. But people do prefer, instead of the pockets, they want these bigger instead of the smaller ones. They want the bigger ones.
Well, the style of what the book actually now, that the sort of not cartoon, sort of drawn things.
Yeah, and it's not cartoonish, but a lot more artistic, I think, and more inviting to the imagination.
It really it's a hobble. I'd say that there's a comparison to what happened in the 90s to 2000s with science fiction fantasy, because then in the 90s you had a lot of the classic science fiction writers still from the 60s that were still there, and then in the 2000s it's sort of, I mean, the early 90s you had what's it called, cyberpunk, but that sort of died out. But then in the aftermath of that, there were just a lot of different things. And now in the last 3 or 4 years also, there's been a lot of near future fiction and also science fiction fantasy that's been written by people from further afield. No, not just white old guys, but women, and also people from other countries and other parts of the world, and bringing their own style and their own lifestyle with them, and that's really interesting, I think.
No, definitely. I think there's a change in whom is bringing is the voices they're showing up. They're a lot more diversified, and in different and interesting. And
so
why do we always have to read the American ones or the British only? There are so many ones.
It's gone with along with the world, I suppose, getting more connected to each other.
Definitely.
Makes sense.
Iris,
yes,
I think you've got another book for us.
I do, but first I want to talk about a book that Emma suggested. She is the crime buyer in The Hague. That sounds funny, the crime buyer. Anyway, and I think along with romance, crime is one of those genres that a lot of people gravitate towards for their summer reading, because it's like you sort of know what to expect. Like there is some sort of like mystery or something sort of malicious going on, and then that gets solved, you know? So I think it can be very comforting to go into something where you already sort of know where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one of the books that she suggested is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. She says that if you're looking for something to inhale by the poolside, this book is your pal. So, you know, what more do you need?
That's an interesting description.
Yeah, I quite like, she says it's a fast-paced murder mystery that unfolds between a group of people who are in close quarters, which obviously is a very classic, like, idea, you know. It's very sort of Agatha Christie, where there's a limited group of people. There's only so many people that were there. It has to be one of them, you know. And she also says, which I think is really interesting, that Lucy Foley writes it in first person narrative, but there's different points of view. So there's multiple characters, but they're all written in first person. So at some point you are in the head of the murderer, but you don't know. You won't know till the end, hopefully. I don't know. So I think that's very intriguing. I think that's very very enticing.
I'm intrigued already.
See,
I'm going to
it's working.
It's working. There's two covers. Do you know which one is in the shop? You've got this black kind of cover, and you've got this Lady by the Window cover. I don't know if you've seen the book in the shop already.
That's another book, though, Luke.
Paris Apartment.
Different author.
Wait a minute. What did you say it was
the one, the black one.
You said it was called the...
Yeah, but look at the author. One. It's a different
the
author.
Black one. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Kelly Barron. Lucy Foley. Lucy Foley.
Yes.
Lucy Foley. That one.
Yeah.
You unlock the mystery. Only you hold the key. Interesting.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, exactly. Where's that piece of music when we need it? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
cool,
already, right? Yeah, that came out a couple of months ago, and we've got it in paperback. Yeah, must be in paperback, 1750.
Yeah.
The socialite, the nice guy, the alcoholic, the girl on the verge, the concierge. Yeah, it's got all the classic elements, actually.
Right? Yeah.
The classic.
And everyone knows something they're not telling. Ooh.
Definitely.
Interesting. Actually, it kind of makes me think of the film that came out recently, a couple of years ago, which oh gosh, what was it? And it's about the old man who's a writer, and he's got loads of money, and then
Knives Out.
Knives Out. Thank you very much.
It's a very good one, by the way. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Really.
Well,
really.
There you have it, folks.
But actually talking of that idea of whose eyes are you looking through, and you're actually seeing it through the eyes of the help, the girl, really. But just the way it swings around and but kind of reveals everything and obviously doesn't until you find out in the end. But I thought that was a good modern twist on a classic idea as well. So this sounds a similar sort of vein.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I'm going to go somewhere totally different, and I'm going to show you.
Love it.
Because
Amsterdam.
We all think Amsterdam is like, home, but for a lot of people, of course, Amsterdam is a visiting city for summertime.
Yeah.
And this one is about in Dutch you see Huismusea, but it doesn't actually say it in English, but it's actually the house museums in Amsterdam, of which the Anne Frank House, of course, is one, the Van Loon Museum, Rembrandt and so forth. But there's a lot of different ones, and I hadn't really even thought about it, but this book brings them all together, and it's kind of thick, compact, but it's got lots. Again, if I can flick through this, nice photos and images and stuff like that. It's quite enticing to get into it. And it's actually nicely done. It's not too much to read, but you've got English and then Dutch as well, so it's multi-language. It's very thoughtfully done. It's very nicely set out, and makes me as a living here for like 30 odd years, makes me want to go and have a look at these places that I actually haven't really thought about going to see. So that's always a good sign. So so that's very new, and
cool.
That's available in the shop, $27.99. That's my recommendation.
Pretty good.
Lovely.
Yeah, very nice.
So,
who else wants to go?
You want to do another one? Because you had us a big pile.
I did. All right, I'm going to go for Adriatic. because it's the next on the list. This is a suggestion from Jeroen, Amsterdam Jeroen, who does the history. And again, when he described it to me, it's like, oh, that sounds really interesting. This guy, Robert Kaplan, is known for, well, as they say, Revenge of Geography he did, but there's another one, that Balkan Ghosts he wrote 20 years ago. So about the history and the wars, the ups and downs of those areas. And this one is about the Adriatic between Italy and the Balkans. And who knew?
Surprising.
It's great. I don't know. It's just something about it said it to me.
Yeah, I wonder what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a feeling. But it's actually that he has traveled. So this is as well a travel literature book as well as a history book.
That's cool.
A person who knows about that stuff. So I think that it's going to be a very interesting one. Again, it makes me think of Amsterdam by Russell Shorto. Different style, totally, I think, but somebody who's knowledgeable about the history, but also loves the place itself. Russell Shorto's lived here for a long time, and weaves in kind of how it felt to be there. And I think this book gives you a sense of the feeling of what things were going on at the time. And of course, he's traveling around to these different places too. So it's I think it's a good, if again, traveling, if you're going to be traveling around in Italy or Balkans or stuff like that, even if you're not, give you an idea.
Wow. Shocker.
So there you go. It is unfortunately only a hardback. So at the moment, it's 33 euros, but it's just new, still hot, and check it out.
Yeah, I quite like it when authors mix their like personal experiences with like a travel book or a history book or a scientific book, just to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, give it that personal.
Because otherwise it can get quite dry. Like for me, as someone who reads primarily fiction, sometimes I struggle to get through a nonfiction book. But if there's like a personal touch, it's so much easier to just get through it. Like for example, I read Erebus by Michael Palin.
Oh yeah.
About the shipwreck that they discovered. And it's very heavy on the history because obviously it's like it was a very important historical expedition. But he also is so comfortable with like the travel book genre that he also very much leans on his experiences traveling in the area. And that just makes it so much more readable and like relatable as a modern reader.
Seems to be.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that book area, but we're talking about renewing styles and stuff, and it seems to be a more approach. Maybe Palin indeed has sort of like helps that grow in a way, being famous before he was even writing those books. And creating that sphere. But this is, I think I feel on a different level. I get, I don't know the writer himself, but I feel like it's on a higher level. And yet, as you say, you've got this personal connection then of not just the history, a personal connection with the history because of the story, the travel that you go with the
yeah. It just makes it so much more real, I think.
Yeah. Like you're sitting at a table with someone with a glass of wine and they're telling you.
Yeah, something like that. It sort of creates I don't know, it's an easier connection to then get this kind of book and read and feel connected.
Yeah.
Instead of just reading something about a certain place that it is just there.
Yeah, like it may or may not have happened. I'm reading about it and like, sure, but it doesn't feel any more or less real than fiction.
Well, I guess what we want is a connection in the end. Coming out of Corona, I feel that doing the open mics online with the ABC. The ABC does open mics, so that people who don't know that now. Hey, that was a good link.
Real good.
You can find that on abc.nl
/events.
/events. Thank you very much. But the basic thing of connecting with people is still so very human, where we're in the middle of how that all affected us. And I feel like that's what these books do as well, when it's like we're looking for that human touch, as you said before, which is part of the ABC ethic in general. And I think, alternative bookshops anyway what is reading unless it's trying to, connect with an emotion from somebody else?
That's very profound, Luke. Man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Wise thought of the day. Finished over. Lília,
Yeah.
do you have like another book?
So, talking about hot cakes. So, something hot, new from the press. It's another title that I haven't read yet. But,
On your
hey,
list.
just the same color. Pink,
yeah.
pink. But I've read a lot of, good things about this one. A lot of on social media.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about her, Mia Sosa, but also about this book specifically as being hilarious and a nice light read for the summer.
Yeah.
And okay, a romance again. I'm sorry, but
That's why you're
romance
here, man.
buyer. That's why I'm here.
Great.
So it's I don't know. I can't say a lot about this one, but the one thing I can tell you is that it has been talked a lot as being a nice read, nice, light, funny read.
Yeah.
So perfect for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could all use some fun.
Yeah. I think we had 2 years of no fun. So.
Yeah. Yes. Enforced reading. Oh no. No, but is she known for other books, or is it more or less like a new?
Oh, she's known for other books, but that I don't know that much.
Okay.
You would have to take a look on fantastic fiction.
Yeah. Sosa was her name, huh?
Yes, Sosa. Yeah, Sosa.
Okay. Oops. Because I was thinking it's like what you said before with the other writer is because of book talk.
I think so.
People are being discovered, and in fact, you kind of, we know the sensation of like, here's a new author that it's their first book, bosh, big. Then they've got to live up to it. Then you've got a lot of authors who, of course, they bring out books and they're not super big or stuff like that, but they can survive and they keep writing. And with Book Talk, it's nice because I think that they get discovered and then they've already got like a stash of books that they've written.
Yeah, there's a little backlist for people to get into.
They've sort of found their voice, as it were, after 3 or 4 books maybe. And so this Book Talk thing is a kind of a nice, it's a grassroots kind of vibe.
Yeah, although I also want to point out that if an author's third book suddenly gets Book Talk famous, it's not because it doesn't have to be because that one is so much better than the other two. Sometimes it's just kind of random, which book gets the hype, Yeah. But I think it's nice for readers if it's an author that already has a bit of a backlist, that there's other stuff that you can go to and you don't have to wait 2 years for them to finish another book.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have the one of those you have with Colleen Hoover, because it's such an, I understand, a very good author, and suddenly it was just woof.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to read everything by her.
Yeah, but she has quite a few books, so that's great.
Yeah. It was Madeline Miller from the Song of Achilles, right?
Yeah.
And you read Sirs, and you liked it. And you read before. Have you ever read Song of Achilles after all?
Nope.
Because you liked Cersei so much that
I mean, I'm sort of vaguely, I have this idea of, at some point I'll read it. It's just not
necessary to read right now.
No.
Exactly. But talking about Book Talk, which is, I think it's quite an interesting phenomenon. I actually sold, I don't know, maybe 2 months in a row. So sold the Song of Achilles, I don't know how many times, and then I was like, you know what, I want to try it, and then I start reading it, and I was okay, this is really good.
Yeah.
So something you wouldn't have taken on, but because you've seen so many being sold, you.
But that's how it works.
I was curious. I was like, is this any good? This hype interesting? Is it really? Is reasonable to have this hype, or is just a hype?
I mean, I don't know if the word reasonable ever applies to hype.
Hypes.
I don't think
sorry.
those two. Yeah, I don't think those go together very well. But it doesn't matter, does it?
No,
like
no,
if it sort of exposes new people to books that they wouldn't otherwise have picked up, that's great.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a difference between a manufactured hype and a sort of natural hype.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what I say grassroots, because I think of music, and I think of when every so often when you have Elvis Presley come up, the Beatles, punk, then you had rap. And every time when it was so new that the big companies didn't, they were going like, whoa, we're not touching that. We don't know what that is. And then it got brought up by the grassroots, and the people really resonated with it until these big companies couldn't ignore it. And so at the beginning, they're always like these outliers, and they're springing up, and then the big companies go, okay, we'll have one of those, and we'll do a copy of Elvis Presley, and we'll do a copy of the Beatles, and we'll do a copy of punk and rap and everything like that, and sugar it up and sweeten it out, and then make it a hype where that may or may not work. But the original things is usually because everything's a bit bland, and people are looking for something new. And then there's this grassroots thing. And I think I think we all feel the same, is that Book Talk really comes from genuinely from people who
readers.
I mean, for the most part, yes, but also we also live in an age of like social media influencers and people doing sponsorships and ads. So it's not completely spontaneous.
That's where it's going to go. That's where it's going to go. This is going to burst. This will not last forever.
No, but I mean, that's already happening. Like, I don't know about whether it's going to burst or not, but I mean, publishers are already obviously, spending a lot of resources on marketing and working with influencers, sending out ARCs to people who then, rave about the book. Well, that's also just part of the process of marketing.
Well, 10 years ago, influencers were not really a thing. People didn't really call them. They just happened because they were on. They gelled with YouTube or with Instagram or whatever was. Instagram wasn't even on there. I don't think Facebook or whatever. And slowly that or fastly, I don't know. That sort of like took on, and then these companies realized and then paid people to go and do that sort of. And it's become this thing that we know as influencers. So everything starts off genuine, and usually it ends up being recreated and brought out.
Well, I mean, I feel like both of those things can exist at the same time, right? You can, because like sometimes I read an ARC and I'm still super genuinely excited about the book, right? It doesn't mean just because a publisher's like, hey, do you want to review this book for us? Doesn't like automatically make you a sellout or anything like that.
No, not at all.
Definitely.
I just think the lines are a bit blurrier now than when that wasn't a thing.
That's true, but then again, that's the thing with social media in general. I think.
I see it as a process that people actually they get interested in, then they lose interest after a while because everybody's doing it. That's what happens usually. But it's the thing with books is book lovers want to read books, so that's the great thing.
Yeah.
I was just going to show actually share the screen with our Mia Sosa.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that she's written indeed 2 sets of trilogies, it looks like. Suits Undone and Love on Cue. And Worst Dressed Man, which is a great title. I like that. And they look kind of like classic romance.
Yeah, they're all a bit older as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's her. What else have we got? We're kind of half an hour, but I think.
What else have we got?
What have you got, Iris? Have you got anything there? Have you got any?
Well, speaking of ARCs, I have an ARC.
That sounded like Dirty Father Christmas, that one.
Okay.
Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Yes, by Gabrielle Zevin, who's the author of The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry, which is somewhere here. Here it is. Which I read years ago.
Show me.
Storied Life of A.J. Fikry.
Okay.
Yeah, which is one of those books about books, which I love. I read it ages ago. I don't know when it came out, but I loved it a lot. I don't remember the details now, but I remember that I cried at the end. And then I saw an ARC of this new book. It's coming out on July something. It just says July. So that's summer reading. And it's about two people who sort of reconnect. And I think from what I understand, they create like some sort of video game together and they get super famous. And it's sort of about that process. And it's one of those books that like spans decades. It's like a 30-year period or something, which is something that I really love, but I don't always remember that. Like sometimes I'll forget that that's something that I actually really like reading. And then I read something like that and I'm, oh, right, that I like that. So I'm hoping that's going to happen with this one as well, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've got to share my screen just to show you what it looks like on.
Okay.
Here we go. There you go. There you are, loves. There you are, loves. So coming out in July, and
Yes.
it's going to be trade paperback. Yeah. So it's bringable.
Yeah.
And of course, you get your 10% discount if you're a student or a teacher or something else. Remind me.
A senior.
A senior 65 pluser every day, 55 plusers on Mondays. If you have an Oivars pass in The Hague.
And a Stads pass in Amsterdam.
Yeah, or if you just buy a discount card, man. Just buy a discount card.
Just buy
it's
a
only
discount
€7.
card.
You get a 10% discount. That's really, it earns itself back real quick.
Yeah.
It does. If you're a book lover, you know that you're going to just
Yeah.
buy books. So you're going
to. Oh, I had a German customer today who just comes to The Hague, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year, and he buys it like piles and piles of book and buys the discount card as well.
Great.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yes.
I like that.
That was a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah,
Yes,
the one time a year or something like that. Let's see. We got there's another one from I'll do 2 quickly.
Okay.
Gunkel.
Gunkel.
This is another one from Natalia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going Gunkel. What's Gunkel? It's gay uncle.
Yeah.
No.
It's a Gunkel. Yeah.
Old man me, or GUP, gay Uncle Patrick, for short. Always loved his name. He has to take look after his nieces because their mother dies, and then he has to sort of not a coming of age, a coming of fatherhood, or learning how to do something which you have no clue about. So and you can see it's light summer reading, but it's not all light, but it's well written and fun as well, and as these things should be. I think there's fun, but then there's gravity to it. Gravitas.
Gravitas.
Yes.
Yeah, the Gunkel. That's cool.
So there you go. That's a nice one. So that was Natalia's other one, and and I actually did have book lovers here as well. So there you go.
Oh yeah, see, that's the British edition.
The British edition, exactly.
Yes.
And then I asked our Maria S, who does the young adults, and she came up with a few books as well. So I'm just going to go quickly. She recommended these 2 because they're new. This one is new. Maggie Stiefvater, quite well known from her other trilogies.
The Raven Boys.
Thank you.
The Raven Cycle is not a trilogy; it's 4 books.
It's 4 books, exactly. It's a tetralogy.
It's an incorrectly named trilogy.
That's why it's called the Raven Cycle, not the Raven Trilogy.
Exactly. See, she read it.
Cool.
I can't remember that.
Well, I'm rereading it at the moment, so I'm all up in that business.
See?
There you go. But would you read this? Because when I looked at it and I thought, that's tinkling bells. It's like, wasn't there a sort of a Disney film, Brave? And so it is, it's nicely done. It looks in the style of young adults, the drawing and stuff like that. And she's a little older than the when she was in the film. But Maggie Stiefvater was asked by Disney to write a young adult sort of follow on, I suppose 10 years later or something like that. Right? So this is Bravely. This is her further on. So I thought that was kind of an interesting one.
Yeah,
so,
I had it in my hand today, thinking like, "Oh, I want to read this one." Actually, funny.
Yeah, nice.
There you go. Yeah, so she's Maggie Stiefvater sort of taken obviously the character and some of the other characters from the film, and then expanded it and gone further. Used her own imagination, so it's not just a literal next step, but it goes into worlds. So that's kind of nice, I think.
Yeah,
indeed.
That idea
made it more more interesting to read.
Yeah. This one has been out for a while, and there's some. This is the first in the series, and it's printed on our own EBM machine.
Yay!
It was originally a hardcover.
Yes.
And it was only hardcover, and it is now, I think, since a couple of weeks or a month, available to be printed in our EBM
as a paperback.
And as a paperback.
Yeah.
And it's a YA romance.
It's very much a crossover.
Yeah.
YA romance fantasy situation, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it is listed as YA in Amsterdam because I think he sells better as YA in Amsterdam. But in The Hague, it is as romance because it sells better in romance. So it's because it fits both bills.
Yeah.
So funny, isn't it? Yeah. There's sometimes the crossovers, they fall into a gap, but because this is so strong, both of these areas now, and people looking at both of them, that they can get away with it, and it makes it stronger. In fact,
it's
but, who wants to tell about the EBM?
Lília does.
Oh yeah, me then. Of course. Why me? Because I'm also an EBM operator.
There you go.
What it is our Betty, that is our EBM machine, and we print books that are available to be printed from usual publishing houses that have available, but we also do a lot of not only print on demand, but also for Dutch authors, other authors, people who just want to print whatever their own material. We do quite well, and people should just get in touch with us in Amsterdam, make an appointment, and see if they want, whenever they want to print their own books.
Yeah.
We can do that, and all the information is also on our website.
That's true.
So,
and also on the blog, there's an interview with Maria, who is like the main EBM operator.
Our chief.
EBM chief.
EBM chief.
Who also gives a bit of like background information about the process and how it works. It's really cool.
Yeah. It's a really cool interview.
Yeah. So you can, so head over to the blog there. That's on our ABC website. And you can find out about that. That's on ABC, and then all over to the right. You've got
go to the but you also go to the publishing, and you can see all the information about what you have to do if you want to publish your own book or just have it printed. All the information is there.
Yeah.
Also the pricing and what you have to do and who you have to contact. So
the whole enchilada.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we all know how to help as well, like that. That's really cool. So this book would have otherwise not been available, and it's now available via the EBM. So that's crazy.
Yes.
And just quickly, the last one then was this one, which is a couple of years old, but that was her personal favorite, Deal with the Elf King.
Interesting.
Yeah, part of a series, Married to Magic series, but they're all separate stories within the world, so you don't have to read one to.
I think this one is the first one as well.
I believe it is too. Yeah,
I think so.
I'll take your word for it.
Really, summer reading, good one, nice one.
Yeah,
exactly.
And elves and stuff like that. Young lady who becomes like the queen gets married to the icy king, and but then says, why does the queen have to die to save the country all the time? So this further thing of like, there's a larger thing going on, and also at the same time, I think seeing if she can melt his icy heart a little bit.
That's of course romance.
A bit of romance going on there as well. So nice. There you go. Nice reading. That's
cool.
Over and Deal with the Elf King. Deal with the Elf King. Deal with it, baby. Deal with it. No, I'm sorry. Getting to
Do
the
you
end.
still have time to something else?
Yes, go on then.
Okay.
I know
So
really-
now I'm going to do my this is science fiction trilogy, and
They look very well read.
They do.
yes, definitely well
Yeah.
loved, really well loved. And I actually started reading this one because I was in a slump and I wanted something new. And then I just browsed through the science fiction section and I looked at this and I thought it was such a cool cover. And then I read what it was about and I'm like, oh my God, it's really interesting. And it's about a guy who is what they call a linesman because he sings to the lines. In the future. You have this the starships are actually you need lines to move the ships, and you need 10 lines. And then he is a linesman level 10, but because he sings to the lines, everybody thinks he's crazy. And he actually is a very good linesman. And so, but somebody that they end up finding out there are other starships going around that they can't communicate, and it turns out maybe whoever is going to be able to communicate with them and how it's
Is
all
the person
going
who
to
sings?
Yes, of course.
Hey.
Yes.
And then it's the whole political situation and how he deals. He comes from a slum, and then he made a name for himself because he really wanted to be a linesman. And so with all this process of him being accepted by other people, but also accepting that he has more influence in the world than he thinks.
Yeah.
And and how he relates to people, and it's and how people relates to him. It's a very I don't know. I love it so much.
Oh.
And then, but I think it's such a wonderful summer read because it's even if with all those things going on politically and aliens or no aliens and whatever, and it's something you can read reasonably quickly. It's not too complicated, but complicated enough to sort of keep you reading and keep you interested.
Yeah.
And I read them actually in a vacation.
You read them in a row?
Yes, actually I did.
Nice.
I had this one, and then I liked it so much, then I came back and got the other two. And read the other two on a vacation. So in a week, I really ate them up. And,
oh, that's good.
And it is one of those feel-good stories that I usually read at least once a year when I'm in a slump. I just go and read it because it's so well created and connected. And the one interesting thing is this is the authors, the S.K. Dunstall. They're two sisters from Australia.
Oh yeah.
So it's not one author, it's two authors actually.
Two authors.
Yes.
Ah, that's interesting.
So Sherilyn and Karen, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. And the two sisters, but the most interesting is they are Australian.
All right. Dunstall.
Okay, it's two white women, but from Australia.
Yeah. Two siblings.
Two siblings. So these two, I really recommend because it's a wonderful trilogy. I really, really enjoy.
And yeah, Linesman, Alliance, doing Dutch, Alliance, Alliance, and Confluence.
Yes.
Exciting.
Really exciting.
Okay.
And it's a staff pick as well. It's my staff choice.
And you'll find
the first one certainly, but the whole series is really, really good.
Cool. I can imagine with two authors that you get like a more a three-dimensional thing going on, and as well. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Nice, cool. Nice. Always good to have special special picks. Iris, have you got anything else?
Yes, I've got one final contribution from Emma. Ricardino by, oh God, I'm going to butcher this, by Andrea Camilleri. I don't know how to pronounce
it is Camilleri.
There you go.
Andrea
I did
Camilleri.
it.
Yeah.
See, I did it. So it's part of the Inspector Montalbano series, and I think this is the last one. But Emma says that if you're looking for books that match the weather to have that extra immersive ability, yeah, every crime story by this author is set in Sicily. It's perfect for the summer, you guys.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
Con certeza.
Yeah, so it's like warm, lush, sleepy landscape, but also crime. So, you know, who doesn't want a bit of that?
Bit of that, not the other.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's also because right now I think there's only a large paperback out, but the smaller one is actually coming out in July. So that's perfect for summer reading as well. Yeah, grab the small size, go on vacation, take it with you, read it. You know,
good idea.
Or don't. Just I'm not the boss of you. Just take the book.
Put it on the table and that's it.
Yeah, just look at it. Yeah. I'm just looking.
Buy the book. I don't care.
Looking up on fantastic fiction. Fiction.
I didn't know that he passed.
Yeah, he passed in 2019.
Camilleri.
But he had a big long life, it looks like.
Yes, yeah.
Very Italian, and lots of books. So if you like this one, then you can always jump into that series. You know,
certainly.
And this one is indeed it's new 2020.
Riccardino.
Yeah.
So he's the last one for it. So he was right up to the end, and it's still good. It's nice when people, you know.
What I know about him is that he actually started seriously writing when he was older.
Oh, nice.
Well,
I always like that kind of stuff.
Really older, because he was from 1915, I think,
1925 it says here.
25.
Yeah.
And he actually, I think the first one that he released in English was 2005, 2001.
Oh, wow. So he was like
something like that.
80.
I'm going to share the screen again because you can see exactly what you're saying.
The translation, huh?
So when you say he was older, what you're saying is he was old.
Yes.
Careful, Iris. You're talking about
but that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. This is the translation was in 2002.
Sure.
But 25, so he was already 77 when it was translated into English. And I think if I remember correctly, people talking that he started publishing when he was like older than 60 in Italian.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's very nice, yeah. And The Shape of Water was made into a film, yeah? It's the same story?
Yeah, The Shape of Water?
The Shape of Water, it says here, is #1, but I don't know if that's...
it's not the same one.
It can't be the same one, can it?
I don't think it's the same one.
No, okay. But
maybe it is, but I don't think so. What?
Could be a bit weird if it was, though, but it's a nice title. But it's a very Italian title, isn't it? Probably. Or something like that. Careful, my Italian bloke's going to come out in a minute, then we know we've got to stop. But yeah, so there's hope for us yet. I think you can do that. What I'm thinking of is with a writer, you can kind of do that. You know, you can be 70 and then write. People kind of go, okay. But when you're a songwriter like I am and a performer, it's like, do they take you on? You know, you have to be 20 or 16 to be like, you know, taken on.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first pop songwriter who's going to become famous at 60, like Andrea Camilleri writing.
Camilleri,
exactly.
Anyway.
Something like that.
That's all good.
I think we've come almost to the end of it.
Wow, look at us.
Do you have anything else to declare?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
You're good. Thank you for joining us. It was really good. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
Great.
You sound so surprised.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly a person who enjoys doing
talking
openly
to colleagues.
No, talking
you do
openly.
Like,
talking openly with people or to people that I don't know. I'm just talking to you guys. So that's
it's just us, man.
Yeah. So that's different. Yes. And okay, so but I liked it, and I think I'll probably come more often.
That'll be good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that a threat?
Definitely.
Oh Christ. Okay.
So we're going to have
Westfield.
we're going to be back in September, I believe.
Yes.
Series,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And episode number 1 for series 3. That will be on the end of September. Then I guess we'll do that.
Yeah, I guess September. Let me have a quick look to see the exact date. Although, who's going to remember that? September 30th actually is a Friday.
Okay.
Last Friday of the month, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Last Friday of the month we do this. And if people have ideas for it, they can send us ideas or thoughts if they liked it at info@abc.nl, and then put it in the title to say staff picks, ABC staff picks streaming ideas and stuff like that. That's always good fun. So we'll leave you. I just say there's the open mic next Friday. That's the June the 3rd. Yes. That's going to be, you can find that link on abc.nl by the events, and that's on Zoom as well. You can come along and play or sing or talk about your book, whatever. And then we got trade-in days on June the 10th and 11th, but is that in The Hague as well or not?
Yes, that's in The Hague.
Is in The Hague.
Yes.
And then we got the next ABC at the Next Web on June the 16th and 17th.
Yeah, so fancy.
Yeah. And then we've got book chats on June the 24th, which is going to be The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin, a classic.
Oh, interesting.
I still want to read that one.
Well,
I still want to read lots of books.
It's a very good one, by the way.
Yeah. Well, read it quick and then book club.
Maybe I should.
Book chats.
Have a bit of a motivation here.
Yeah, there you go. Push you to do it. That's also on Zoom at the moment.
Who's doing the book chats?
New lady. Do you remember her name?
Of course not. I don't work in Amsterdam.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry. But it's a new person as well?
6 months to a year or so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she looks after it, and that's been going on strong for like 4 or 5 years, actually. And during the Corona time, it's been online, as the open mic night has, and still going strong. So that's great.
Super cool.
What I wanted to say was indeed that around September, we're hoping to start doing live stuff in the shop. So mic in the shop, book chats also in the shop, but also the idea of doing, what do you call that? Together.
Hybrid
live online, because some people, it reaches new people. It's great.
Yep.
So Lília, thank you for coming along. Iris, thanks for doing it with me, and
love it.
We're gonna stop live streaming, aren't we? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Down for the summertime. We're
bye.